it's okay with you, we're just gonna, if everyone can just introduce themselves and we'll get to our...
Okay. My name is Steve Strangio. I'm the writer-producer for Sorry.
Nobody important. Dan Marquardt, I'm the cinematographer director for Sorry.
Great, so let's open up with some questions here. Anybody? I know it's a very boring question, but I like to know the behind the scenes, so forgive me. What was the inspiration for Sorry?
The inspiration for Sorry, I wanted to write something where you didn't really know the reason for the relationship until the very end. You know, sometimes in relationships you don't really know why you're together, so he's constantly apologizing to her and she doesn't give a damn. And in some relationships that happens. So she was trying to rope him into saying how much he truly cares for her. So the inspiration was, sometimes in relationships you just don't know why you're there until you finally talk it out and maybe apologize to the person for something you didn't realize that you did. Or didn't do.
So you were the cinematographer? I want to call you Superman, I apologize. Say your name one more time, please?
Dan.
Dan, so you were the cinematographer, right? So,
yes.
As a cinematographer, and this is very dialogue-driven, well, I mean, what were some of the things that you were concerned about that you wanted to make sure you made interesting for this film?
When we first got into the project, the first main concern was the weather. It was actually a cold day. It was a pretty brisk day.
It's free.
Yeah, it was cold.
Yeah.
But everybody was a trooper, and then the other part was the sound. I'm an amateur, you know, much like the rest of us here. You know, so learning the camera. There's my camera right there, the Canon Neo 7D, which is
I'm jealous.
An awesome camera, and to know the white balance, the ISO, and the apertures, and getting it all right while filming, and without using a tripod and doing it all freehand. There was a lot of different combinations because with those cameras, unfortunately, the sound on those cameras, you need external mics. And the mic systems that we had were just regular wireless mics, but still battling the element of the sound because we were right off the Peninsula Boulevard.
Yeah, it was at Hempstead Lake State Park.
Yeah. So it was a number of that, and then trying to see what Steve was seeing when he was writing it and getting it done. And it all worked out well. A lot of it actually depended on the actors. You know, I really just, you go, I'll follow. And that was the attitude I took, and it just, luckily, knock on wood.
It's not an easy thing to do to actually follow your actors, you know, to choreograph camera with actor. Anyway.
Production has its own process. I mean, we did the short film. You know, the short film has a quicker process. And with me, that was actually based on a play that I wrote. It was a 1-minute play, and I actually had to stretch it out. And I always wanted to do a film version of it. So I had a couple of actor friends of mine. We had a location. I had a guy with a kick-ass camera who knows how to use it. I think I wrote a pretty good script. Let's just get together and get it done. You know, and the short films are usually like that. When it comes to the features, that's the challenge because there's so many elements involved. And Dan and I are currently shooting a feature right now, and the entire thing is improvisational. So we're actually creating an improv structured film, and that's a bigger challenge in itself. I wrote the entire structure, I wrote out the beats for each thing, and now we go to my actors and we have maybe 1 or 2 takes to get the scene done. And as you guys know, if you're doing something improvisational, it's a hell of a challenge. So everything that you do, every project that you do has its own challenges, but there has to be dedicated people, talented people, and people who are willing to say, well, okay, I'm not working that day, I guess I'll come down and do the shot and do the scene for you. The hardest thing, scheduling. All right, trying to get the people down. Support local independent filmmaking and local independent plays. That's all I'm saying. God bless America.